Hi everybody. Now this is the second video that I'm making after my hiatus. Probably going to be the last video, but it's just a channel recommendation. I want you to check out Rachel Moorfield's channel on suicide awareness, and I want to preface this by explaining how I discovered Rachel. Sometimes YouTube puts things in our feed randomly. I wasn't searching for anything on suicide, and I just happened to see her thumbnail and to click on it. And last year her son committed suicide, and her blog is about grieving the loss of her son. And as I'm talking, it's very difficult for me to kind of curb my tongue. Like, I don't know even what to say, because I want to be as sensitive as possible for Rachel's sake. And her son's name was Isaiah. He was an artist, and in my opinion, judging from her videos, he had a very, very loving family, unlike a lot of my viewership. And he just had a battle with depression and suicidality, and he committed suicide. And the reason why this channel touches me on such a deep level is not necessarily the content and the message, which is very profound, but in my opinion, the incredible devotion that Rachel has towards her son. And it really, really touches me on a very deep level, because I see the love that she had towards her son, and she still has towards her son, and her devotion to his memory. And something within me, because of that devotion, feels that I have to share his legacy with people within this community as well. Suicide it doesn't discriminate, and trauma, the traumatic consciousness, and is still a mystery. You could have the most loving family in the world, you can have the correct people around you, but for one reason or the other, your brain and your thought processes can work against you, and work against even your environment. So the biggest thing that I learned from watching Rachel's channel is that mental illness does not discriminate. It doesn't care how many things you have going for you. And in much the same way as I felt very passionate about talking about something like sociopathic abuse and narcissistic abuse, a topic that is not popular. We're not talking about roses and rose petals and weddings and shopping or makeup. It's a very deep topic, and one that most people want to avoid. Rachel's channel is similar in that it talks about taboo topics. And it's kind of her journey, just like all of us within this community. We're on a journey to talk about the things that other people did not want to hear about, never comforted us about, never cared about. This is very similar. I've cried buckets watching this channel because I want to say to you, Rachel, that your thought process, your grief is very palpable, and I feel that people that have undergone any sort of trauma, whether it be emotional trauma, spousal abuse, child abuse, the loss that you've experienced, any sort of very, very horrible event, September 11th, their brain goes to a place that is similar. Because when you talk about how anxiety rules your life and how you feel as though letting go of your pain is almost like letting go of your son's memory, this is so relatable to me, only within a different context, and I can't really explain it, because a lot of people have always judged me for not being able to let go of the narcissistic abuse that I've experienced in my life, and a lot of people judge people within this community that I cater to because they're not willing to let go of their traumatic memories. And part of the reason why we hold on to it is because if we let go, then it's almost like we let go of something that was so valuable to us at a time. And so the consciousness, while it's created from different sources, is very similar, and that's why I'm very, very pained to see you describe your mental states, because they're what I experienced not so long ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. I felt incredibly lost in post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms that are very, very unpleasant, and they kill you twice, because they kill those around you and they kill you from within because you don't like yourself, and yet you feel that that's your safe space, because getting out of that space makes you feel guilty and makes you feel like you're betraying yourself for different reasons. And it's for this reason why I want you to see my first video that's put up before this video, because it talks about nootropic supplements. And I feel that you should push or look into nootropics, because they make you more functional even as you're grieving the sort of loss that you're grieving, or even as you're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. They help your mind become more resilient and more functional. And I know your family is struggling, so perhaps looking into nootropic supplements will help you guys be able to at least get back on your feet in terms of looking for work. Your husband is looking for work, so maybe he can try it. I'm not promising anything, and I don't pretend to think that your trauma is in any way close to anything that a lot of people have ever experienced, because the thought of losing your child is probably, it's not accessible to me, it's not accessible to a lot of people. And I want to see you be more lessen pain. You know what I mean? You don't deserve this pain. You think you do, so from time to time, because I've seen your videos and you talk about how you feel guilty as soon as you start enjoying life even a little bit, but you don't deserve this pain. You know, you're creating such a beautiful legacy for your son, and I'm hoping that my viewers will be able to see that and maybe contribute to your channel financially. You have wonderful things that you're selling. I want to get my hands on the t-shirts and the socks that you put on display. I just hope that people will help you out, because it's unimaginable to be able to function in the world after this sort of loss. And you're doing a great thing. You're creating such a beautiful legacy. And it just... The reason why I keep watching your channel is because I'm so touched by the mother in you. It's like when I see you talk about your son and talk about how much you miss him, it's so touching, because a lot of people in this community that are watching my videos, they meet sociopaths because they were born to sociopaths. So to see the opposite of that, to see a mother that truly loves her child to the point where she's not willing to even to let his memory go, you know, and is doing everything in her power to honor his memory, it really is so profound. It's so profound. It makes me want to help you, because you did your job. You know, you did. It may not feel like it for you, but it's so touching. It's so touching. And it's such a tragedy that you had to lose your son, because he had everything. You know, he had the right people around him. And it humbled me greatly, because to know that a person can commit suicide even with the right environmental surroundings, with the right kind of family, it humbled me, because it made me realize that it's so inexplicable. You can't put a finger on why people feel as awful as they do. And I hope that we can change that. I hope that we can alter the brain in my generation and your generation in ways that would prevent this, would prevent people from going through emotional pain. And your channel is doing so much to promote that message. And I hope that you can watch my previous video and my suggestions, because I know what post-traumatic stress disorder is, and I hope that you can help yourself first, help your family, and also help the huge amount of people that watch your channel live a more functional life, live a life that is less marred by emotional pain. And I recommend that everybody that follows me watch Rachel's channel. I'm going to post the link below. And, excuse me. And that's all I have to say. And I hope I didn't offend you, Rachel, because I know how difficult and, like, sensitive this topic is for you. Okay, so if I offended you, or if my words offended you, I apologize. Alright? Kisses.